let's examine the attribute table of the final layer. The FID area at risk attributes is the renamed object ID. It's right here. If a record has a value other than -1 in this field, it means the output feature coincides spatially with a buffer feature. In other words, it is an area at risk of fire. If a record has the value of it of -1, it means the output feature does not coincide with a buffer and is therefore not at risk. Similarly, if a record in the FID Portland Forest attribute has a value other than -1, it means the output feature coincides spatially with forested areas. If not, it means the output feature does not coincide with the forested area and is not considered at risk. So now we can see that we have the -1, and then we see some positive numbers, and the larger number, the more risks. So now it's sorted. Okay, because you are not attempting to correlate areas at risk to areas that are visible from lookout towers, you will have to consider the FID underscore lookout buffer attribute. If a record has a value of 1 in this field, it means it coincides with the areas at risk. If it has a value other than 1, it does not coincide. So the area of communities at risk in the Portland Forest within visibility of a lookout tower. So therefore, it is the area composed of all polygons in the final layer that have a value other than -1 in the FID underscore area at risk field. A value other than -1, the FID Portland Forest layer, and a value of 1 in the FID lookouts buffer field. However, at this point, it may still be difficult to see exactly which areas are at risk. So next, you will create a definition query to encapsulate these areas specifically. Now, finally, we can close this crazy table. In the table of contents, turn off all layers except final. Since this is not the correct one, I'm going to remove it. Okay. And I turn everything off except the final two. We're going to double click the final layer and click the definition query and then click Query Builder. And in the Query Builder window, use the inputs to build the query. So it will be FID risks. Oh, didn't select it. -1. And FID Portland Forest. Sign -1 and ID lookout buffer equals 1. We're going to verify it. Was successful verified and hit OK, hit apply. And then hit OK. So move the layer property window aside to see the main ArcMap window and hit apply. And then once we apply, we can see here, and the applied query isolates the forested areas and populated community within visibility of a lookout tower. However, you need to symbolize the layer to see the locations of community at risks. On the Layer Property dialog box, we're going to click Symbology tab. Under Show, we're going to click Categories. Symbology. Under Shows, we're going to click Unique Values. Category Unique Values. In the Value field list, we're going to click FID POP Jurisdiction. Jurisdiction buffer, and then click Add Values. Add Values. Add Values. And on the Add Value dialog box, in the Select Values to Add List, click -1, and then click OK. And double-click the color chip. Okay, now the symbology selector appears. So which is assign a random color from the color ramp and change the color field to Macao green and the outline color to tarragon green. So Macao green and tarragon green. This is apple. Where is green? Macao green, and the outline is tarragon green. Tarragon green. Similarly, and double-click the all other value. Hit OK. And change the field color to fire red and the outline color to no color. Fire red, no color. Outline is no color, fire red. Finally, click the label value for or other color and replace it with community at risk. And then click the heading label and type not at risk. And then the -1, second item in the list, change the label negative value here to forested area. And we're going to hit OK, hit apply. And now we can see the area. So, and we're going to, on the menu bar, we're going to click Book Menu, close up. To see which area are at risk in visible proximity of lookout towers, you will turn on labels. So turn on labels in the table of contents. We're going to double click the final layer. And then we are going to, on the layer property dialog box, we're going to click the label tab. From the label tab, we're going to select label featured in this layer. Checkbox. In the text string frame, we're going to click label field and to the arrow, and we're going to do for FID populated jurisdiction buffer, and then we'll leave this and click OK. On the map, red polygons labeled with values not equal to -1 represent communities areas at risk, exactly how you symbolize them. If you want to save the work, we can just save it, and we are going to move on to exercise chapter 19, exercise C, calculating attributes values. So let's just save the work and exit out, and then going to start with the exercise C. So for exercise C, we are going to adjust the definition query to display communities at risk only, and then view the risk ratings. This obsoletes the areas for easier calculation. Then we're going to calculate values to determine how much area is actually affected. So it will be a fun lab. So I will see you next time.